Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys have had an amazing week and that your Friday, whether you're still at work or you're done with work for the week, I hope you're having a great one. And yeah, let me know how the week's been for you guys. Let's catch up because we certainly have got some really fun news to catch up on today. Woke up, started checking out my feed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's popping off. Yeah, Jason casting news for the Crystal Lake TV show. Pretty awesome. They found the negative, guys. Excuse me. We were just talking about it last week when we, on Late Night with the Davey, when we watched Day of the Dead for its 40th anniversary. We were talking about how that original negative was lost, but they've just found it. We've got restoration news, so we're going to jump into that. There's also, that Mortal Kombat 2 trailer dropped. I think we should talk about that a little bit. Got some casting news and a handful of other things here that we're going to cover. But I want to jump in, say what's up to you guys, see how you all are doing today. And actually, I wanted to get this I know it's kind of early, 6 p.m. Eastern, but my guy Killjoy Jake is going live here in about an hour. And then Vincent DeSantis going live an hour after that. So I was like, well, if I want to enjoy those streams and kind of get my piece out here, it's time to just sort of jump on somewhat impromptu, kind of put together at the last minute. But yeah, it's fun to do these kinds of streams like this. And then yeah, guys, I don't know if you see there in the, let's see here, I've got a super chat goal. So if you guys want to do like a watch party tomorrow night and you want to, fulfill that goal, it's just 5 super chats of $2 or more. And then we'll be able to put together a little watch party for you. So not so bad, right? Not so bad. Not to say that I wouldn't do it, but I could always, work on something else because I've got some other projects and videos that I'm editing and all that kind of good stuff. Speaking of other projects and videos that I'm editing, guys, did you check out my I Know What You Did Last Summer non-spoiler review? If you haven't, you should. You should check it out. Live on the channel right now. I don't even get near spoiling anything. So if you're wondering if it's a flick you should check out in the theater, you may want to check out that review. If you have already seen it or you're planning on seeing it, then let me know in the chat. But I'm going to jump in and say what's up to everybody, and then we'll get covering the news. We have one of our great channel members, Paula Fitzhenry, in the chat. How are you doing, Paula? So great to see you. Chester Franklin Jr. is here. How you doing, Chester? Always a pleasure. We got Ashton Luck in the house. How you doing, Ashton? Lamontre Gillard. Happy Friday, Lamontre. We've got Brett from Good Real Hunting in the house, one of our great channel members, and Death Squad mods. Hope you're doing well, Brett. Hope you're feeling better finally. Seems like you're kind of on the mend. I watched your short reaction to I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it sounded like you were feeling a little bit better, at least from what I could tell in your voice and everything. We've got Gory Tiger in the house. How you doing, Gory? So great to see you as well. Adrian James is here. What's happening, Adrian? We got Gene Whitacombe. How are you doing, Gene? Antonis Andriotis. What's happening, Antonis? Always fun to have you jumping on in. We got Robert the Wolfman. Ow, ow! In the chat. One of our great channel members. Death Squad mods, a fellow team member of mine over at the Horror Show channel. Guys, I'm actually enjoying coffee out of my Horror Show channel mug. This is a logo that Cecil has said we've had for years. Never put it on a shirt or anything, but I love this logo so much. I know the lights are, glimmering off of it, but just to give you guys an idea, I really dig the logo. I'd love to see it on a shirt. And thank you. I got to give a shout out to Robert. He joined me on that the live on Friday from Mad Monster. And then when I was putting together my photo dump, I'm like, man, I don't have any pictures of Robert and I hanging out. But at least we got to do a little something on the live. So always a pleasure seeing you, brother. Hopefully I'll see you this weekend as well. I'm not sure if you're planning on being out there Sunday, but if you are, I will see you then. All right, who else do we have going on in here? It looks like I'm all caught up with everyone in the chat. Wow, that was a quick one. Brett says, doing a lot better today. We'll be ready for next week and worked a lot on Chills and Thrills YouTube channel. Heck yeah. Got my first theme for month of August for watch parties. Hell yeah, that's got to feel good to get that all lined up. You know, there's so much work that goes into just the setup. There's so much work behind the scenes that we all do when we run a channel, and especially, you know, with you guys rebranding Good Real Hunting, and then with you starting a whole nother channel, you know, that's a heck of a bunch of work. So it's got to feel good to knock that out. We got Gina, aka My Chunky Jody, in the chat. How you doing? One of our great channel members. Robert says, I was thinking the same thing. At least we have video proof. There we go. Yeah, we kicked it quite a bit. We sure did. Yeah, guys, the week has just been, you know, I guess it's been kind of a busy one, you know, just kind of recovering from Mad Monster, and then on Tuesday being over on Pat That Halloween Movie Collectors page. Of course, Wednesday, Late Night with the Davey. Yesterday, I saw I Know What You Did Last Summer and got to spend some time with the family in the evening and then put together my review. So, boom, the week has just kind of flown by. Here we are. It's Friday. It's time to talk some horror movie news. And, of course, maybe some of this stuff will hit up on Hit the Bricks live on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. But I would imagine that it sounds like we're going to be talking a lot of Halloween. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we end up talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer, because Lee and Nick felt quite differently about the movie than I did. So I have very, very little activity on Twitter. Last night I opened up my Twitter and I'm like, oh no, what's going on? I actually have notifications. And it was this whole thing. It was pretty funny. I think Ashton was in on a little bit of it. T. Parker Evans was jumping in. It was fun. I don't get much action on Twitter, so whenever I see my name tagged in there or something, I'm like, ooh, something's actually happening. Gina says, won't be talking for a while as I'm going to have a cool bath as I'm too bloody hot. Oh my gosh, it is so hot here. It is 107 Fahrenheit. The real feel is 115 here in the Phoenix area, so it's pretty brutal there, Gina. So I totally get it. But as long as you're listening, you know, you're kicking it with us. Might be out Sunday trying to catch up on stuff at the house. I totally get you. Yeah, I'm going to have a limited time just with having to do Hit the Bricks at 6 p.m. our time. We got our great channel member and Patreon member, Dean Renner, in the house. What's happening, Dean? Hope you are doing well. Did you check out I Know What You Did Last Summer? Have you seen Superman yet, Dean? What's going on? Come on. Just got to give you some shit. We have our first super chat from Gina, says Snuggles from Ziggy Puppy Pup. 2 pounds. Love to see it. So yeah, I guess just 4 more and we'll get a little watch party going on tomorrow night. It would be up to you guys. Basically what I would do for the watch party is I would just find 4 movies that are kind of streaming in multiple places and then have you guys vote on it. So if you're interested in doing a watch party tomorrow evening, probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 Eastern, maybe 9 Eastern, something like that. Just let me know. And I mean, let me know by throwing out a super chat, you know, just 4 more of $2 or more. Davey, are you seeing Together, Fantastic Four, and Bambi next week? I have all 3 on my schedule. I think so, Brett. So I didn't buy a ticket to Together yet because there's a Scream Unseen on Monday that I'm going to go check out. So 7 p.m. Monday, I'm going to check that out. And it's right about the same amount of time as Together. So I'm guessing it might be Together. Maybe, I mean, shit, maybe it's... that would be crazy if it was Weapons and it was coming out like 2 weeks early. That would be crazy. I would imagine it's going to be Together. If that's not the case, you know, I'll wait and see what movie it is, of course. I definitely want to see Together in the theater. And Fantastic Four as well. I mean, if I didn't have the AMC A-list, there's no way in hell I would go to Fantastic Four because it just doesn't look very good to me at all. I'm not a Pedro Pascal fan, really. I like the first season or first couple seasons of The Mandalorian, but I like it because of like the whole world they built. I'm not the biggest like Pedro fan, especially like the more and more he talks in public, the less and less I like him, honestly. Bambi, I don't know about Bambi. I haven't seen any of those Twisted Children's Universe. What do they call it? The TCU. Haven't seen any of those. I don't know if they're really for me. So I'm not against seeing Bambi. If I can do like a, I don't know, if I can do a double feature and check it out, because I have to drive. Like driving to the theater for me, it's not that bad. 20, 25 minutes, something like that. Phoenix is just so spread out. So Yeah, I plan on seeing at least 2 of those, maybe all 3. Dean says, I know what you did last summer equals I should have stayed home this summer. Yeah, pretty rough stuff. Look at that. Gina has been a channel member for 11 months, almost a year, she says. Thank you so much, Gina. You are awesome. I don't think you're the only one. I think we've got a good like half dozen to dozen folks that are reaching their, year mark, their true anniversary being channel members. So it's really cool. You guys are amazing, what you bring to the channel and, help us keep the lights on, of course. But also showing up for the live, showing up for each other and participating in the conversations. We got our mama mod, the OG Death Squad mod and channel member, Jamie Hart in the chat. How are you doing, Jamie? Hopefully you're staying cool. I'd imagine it's still pretty muggy out where you're at. Let's see who else we got in the house. We might be all caught up. We got Leanna Bevy Rage in the house. Look at that new hair. Fair maiden Leanna. Oh my gosh. Folks, isn't she just so beautiful? Give it up in the chat. Brand new hair for Leanna. Got to celebrate that. That's a good feeling, Just, kind of like a little bit of a fresh start, turn of the page, new chapter to close out the summer. And Leanna is also not only one of our amazing Death Squad mods, but a channel member as well. Probably coming up pretty close on the year mark also, I would imagine. All right, who else do we have in here? We got Raj Ram 2025. Says, Davey, how are you, my brother? I'm doing well. Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been busy, and I'm excited to talk about some horror movie news with you guys for sure. Bambi will probably be CGI. I don't know. I haven't seen any previews. Guys, my interest in those like low budget movies, if I were like 16 or 17, I'd probably be a lot more interested. Like when I was that age, I would go to the video store and I would rent things like the Jack Frost horror movie, like the direct to VHS, or like Uncle Sam and all that cheesy stuff. I can still have fun with that kind of stuff. I just, at this point in my life, I just don't choose to really spend my time watching it. But hey, if it's your thing, more power to you, That's right. Wolfman is a legend. I'll never forget last summer. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to hear some people defend the movie because I'm pretty cold on that one, I'll just say. For sure. I refuse to give my attention to the poopy verse. There we go. Oh, my goodness. Let's see here. What else do we have? Yeah, not the poopy verse. Or poppy verse? Poopy verse? Pooniverse? Twisted Children's Universe? I guess that sounds a little bit better than Pooniverse. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and jump on in to our horror news. Oh my gosh, I've been talking for almost 15 minutes. I haven't even said it yet. Guys, if you're watching the stream, please click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. And if you're watching after the fact, let me know your thoughts in the comments section about the news that we're going to be covering here. And thank you so much for jumping in and watching the replay. It really helps a lot. It's one of those things that keeps the lives alive. So very much appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah. And hey, membership, just 99 cents a month. Not that bad. And oh my gosh, you guys, I almost forgot. Let me grab something really quick. I'm just going to scooch back here. I'll be right back. So I mentioned this in my I Know What You Did Last Summer review, but guys, I have 116 of these I Know What You Did Last Summer postcards that I've got upside down. So if you want me to send you a little personalized message, or if you just want, I don't know who would want this or why anyone would want this. I've seen Eli mention it a couple times. If you just want a little Davey Deathray signature or something, let me know, and you can hit me up in the DMs. That way I can, get your address in a way that's not just public for everyone. And I could shoot you a little, I Know What You Did Last Summer postcard. I may have not liked the movie very much, but these are pretty cool. And it's a great way just to like reach out with you guys and connect with you guys in a different way. So hit me up. Links are in the description below if you want to shoot me a DM on Instagram, or Twitter or whatever. Antonis, what do you of course it's a spoiler to talk about that. Are you kidding? Yeah, I can't talk about that. We're not doing any spoilers with I Know What You Did Last Summer, unless you guys want me to do a stream like I did with Superman. If you want me to do that, then we can figure that out. But I feel like I said pretty much everything I had to say about the movie. And if I wanted to say more, I would have to spoil it. But yeah, I'm not going to get into a killer reveal or anything like that. Yeah, that would absolutely be a spoiler for sure. Dean says, I actually kind of like the postcards. How the hell did you get over 100? Pretty much, here, sir, have the box. Yeah, the young lady that was there, I was like, can I have one of these? And she's like, oh, you can take as many as you want. No one really cares. And I'm like, so I can have all the rest that are sitting here? And she was like, yeah, go for it. No one cares. I'm like, all right, thank you so much, 17-year-old girl that works at the movie theater. We got some soccer talk going on. All right, love it. Perfect. Thank you so much, Brett. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, if you've got my number, you can shoot me a text. If you don't have access to that info or you don't have my email, yeah, you can shoot me a message on DMs. If you don't do social media, like I saw that Gina had commented on my review, and I gave her my, the email that I use for YouTube. So it's really easy, davydeathray@gmail.com. So if you don't do socials, but you still want to get a postcard, then hit me up with your address and we'll get it going. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the horror movie news. I'm going to have a sip of water. See, I need a sip of water because I can't even finish a friggin' sentence. It's embarrassing, y'all. It's friggin' embarrassing. Jamie says the postcards are cool and might be worth something in the future. That's true. Yeah, maybe I should save a handful. I have 116. I don't anticipate that 116 people are going to reach out and want a postcard from me. I mean, that would be cool, but I doubt it. Yeah. So, yeah, who knows? Could be collector's items here in the future. Thank you so much. Yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. We got Prince in the house. Says, good morning, Davy Timberlake. I don't know. What is it? What is it that makes me like Justin Timberlake? It's not the hair, right? Because I've got more like David Lynch kind of hair going here. A wall of hair. What makes me Davy Timberlake? I'm curious to know. Anyways, Prince says, I just rewatched Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny yesterday. I loved it more than people who didn't really click with it. Yeah, it didn't really click with me. There's some weird stuff that happens in the third act of Dial of Destiny. I don't know why they don't just kill Indiana Jones. They're like, no, put him in the plane. We'll take him to the past and then we'll kill him there. What? Like, why don't you just kill him and leave him? Like, what? I don't understand. It was very odd. And that wasn't the only thing that didn't make sense to me. I just can't remember every little bit of it. There was some odd thing, basically trying to win the war for the Nazis in World War II. Really, really weird stuff. Gina says, blissful relief. I'm in a lukewarm bath. Won't it cost too much to send to England? I really don't know. I don't know what it would be. I'd have to look that up for sure. Yep. Just can't stop the feeling about you looking like Timberlake. I don't see it, but that's, hey, thank you so much. I guess I'll take it as a compliment, right, Prince? Okay, guys, let's go ahead and jump on over to the horror movie news. So, even though Halloween is my favorite franchise, whenever something pops up that's within the Friday the 13th news and all that, we've got to cover it here first. So, let me bring up my banner. I got to do that. All right, there we go. Yeah, folks, Crystal Lake has its young Jason Voorhees as Peacock's Friday the 13th prequel series. Crystal Lake finds its Jason Voorhees in Chucky actor. This one was written by Megan Navarro of Bloody Disgusting. Look at this. Is this Photoshop better than the look of the Jason Universe Jason that we got a couple weeks ago? It just might be. So guys, this article says filming is underway on showrunner Brad Caleb Kane's Crystal Lake, the upcoming Friday the 13th television series from Peacock and A24 that will serve as an expanded prequel to the legendary slasher franchise. And the new Jason Voorhees has boarded the project. Chucky actor Callum Vinson has joined the series as young Jason Voorhees, Deadline reports today. Vinson, who recently starred as Henry Collins in Chucky Season 3, is billed as a recurring guest star. as this new project focuses on Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees. The series version of Pamela is believed to be a mother that has given up a singing career to raise a special needs child and takes a dark turn when she loses her son. Yes, yes. As we all know, Linda Cardellini is starring in Crystal Lake as Mrs. Voorhees, who was, of course, the killer in the original Friday the 13th. She's joined by William Catlett, Cameron Scoggins, Devin Kessler, and Gwendolyn Sundstrom. Scoggins will play Dorf, the police officer portrayed by Ron Milkey in the original classic. Nick Cordelleone, Joy Soprano, Danielle Koch, and Phoenix Parnavik have also joined the cast. Cordelleone will play Crazy Ralph, so we got that cast. Joy Soprano as Rita, Koch as Claudette, and Parnavik as Barry. And so that's kind of exciting. I've had people ask me about Crazy Ralph, and maybe I've seen some of this news drop before, but this just solidifies it here. And the article continues by saying fans of the original will recognize those names. The character Barry Jackson appeared in the original Friday the 13th as a camp counselor and famously Pamela's first victim. His girlfriend Claudette Hayes, also a camp counselor, was Pamela's second victim. So yeah, guys, the 8-episode series is set to be directed by Michael Lennox, Celine Held, and Logan George, and Q-Yen Tran. So it's bringing everything back to life, as the article says here, after 16 years of Jason Voorhees lying dormant at the bottom of the lake due to messy legal issues over the rights. Well, hey, us real fans know that Vincent DeSanti and other fan filmmakers out there have been carrying the torch or carrying the axe or machete for Jason in that interim. So at least we've gotten a little something. And I'll let you guys finish the article if you'd like. It just kind of goes into the history of who has played Jason in the past. And then we've got a shot there of Callum with Chucky from the Chucky TV series. So I didn't watch the Chucky show, so I don't know what caliber of performer this kid is. I mean, you know, obviously he's probably aged a little bit, so hopefully he's a little bit, you know, looking a little bit older. I don't want Jason to be too young in this series. But yeah, I mean, what I've heard essentially from... So one of my sources that I talked to at Mad Monster, and, you know I mentioned this the other day, but it sounds like Adrienne King sort of backed out of being in this show because she really didn't like the direction the story was taking. And it seems like from what I heard, it sounds like they're going to start with something that's a little supernatural with Jason's origins, like from the get-go, which I don't know how I feel about that. Of course, I guess we'll just see how it all shakes out. I'm still going to maintain hope because I like the way that the production is looking and all that. So, you know, I'm going to check out the series. I'm going to be hopeful, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you're watching live, let me know in the chat. If you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments section down below. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. And hit the notification bell because we're going to keep on covering this Crystal Lake series as well as other horror movie and TV news that drops. So let me know in the comments, guys. Okay, chat, what do you got for me on Callum Vinson cast as Jason Voorhees for the A24 Crystal Lake show? I need to know. I need to know what you're thinking. Let's see here. What do we got? Why don't we just do it right here? I have what is a gun in my room? I'll go get it. Austin Powell. I guess oh my gosh, when I go live, I'm like, I can't even think about anything. Yes, very lovely seeing you, Paula. Love to see you joining us, of course. We got Todd Bound in the chat. How are you doing, Todd? Jason Smith from Sinister Cinema Reviews best said it. That kid is set for life at horror conventions. Yes, forever. It's just that'll be his life. Even if he only does these 2 roles, he could stop acting and that would be that. That would be that indeed. Pedro Pascal has been cast as Jason Voorhees. Oh my gosh. He'll be Elias, right? Yeah. No, we have not. We have not talked about the Day of the Dead news yet. Let's see. We've got, I think I saw some folks joining us in here. There we go. Happy Friday, fuckers, from Cody Snyder, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Hope you're still enjoying your off time, Cody. We got Destiny Faulkner in the house. How you doing, Des? Rough one for us yesterday with I Know What You Did Last Summer, huh? Yeah. And you had some interesting theater cohorts there, didn't you? I had to switch seats, guys. I had an experience watching I Know What You Did Last Summer where I'm sitting there in the middle of the row in my assigned seat. This guy sits at the end of the row, and then he moves over and sits right next to me. Yeah, thanks, bud. Really appreciate it. Not only that, he gets up right before the movie starts, comes back with a bucket of popcorn as the movie's already started. So he's walking in, he's missing some of the movie, bucket of popcorn, just chomping on it, mouth open, not even trying to close his mouth when he chomps, and doing like responding to almost every line of dialogue, like like doing that to almost every like quasi quip or it was just so annoying. I had to move, but it doesn't sound as bad as what you had to deal with there, Des. So I feel for you. Let's see what else we got. Paul Harrison is in the chat. How are you doing, Paul? Welcome on back in. Says hi, Davey in chat. Can't wait for the Crystal Lake show. Yeah, I'm excited. My excitement was a little let down after what I heard at Mad Monster last week, but I'm still gonna wait and see. I have low to no expectations, says Jamie, about Crystal Lake. Yeah. So rough, I know. My theater was fucking annoying. People kept on getting up and like, I've never seen so many people just get up and like go to the bathroom in my life. Like there were probably only 20 people in the theater yesterday, and I would say over half of them, and sometimes in groups of like four or five, would get up and go use the bathroom and come back. And I was just like, man, everyone's just bailing on this thing. Yeah, I think that's what I think it's a combination of both, Brett. I don't think they have manners. I don't think they have courtesy for others or awareness of others. I don't think they understand like what it is to be respectful to other people, for sure. I moved to an edge seat. Yeah, I like middle seats, just because I want to be there in the middle. But in the theater I was in, sitting on the edge, I could still see everything great. Between the shoes being off and the relentless stupid ass comments and the fucking stupid movie. Yeah, it was pretty rough, man. Pretty rough. People that behave like that in the theater are going to a special hell. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and... Oh my God, phone with the brightness all the way up. That to me is like, that's the point where I will say something. I'm not like, if somebody's eating popcorn, I'm not going to be like, dude, quit eating your popcorn. It's like, I'm out there in public. It's just kind of part and parcel for the experience. But if you're on your phone, fuck off. Ty asks, what's the next big horror release? Together and The Conjuring? So yeah, there's Together. There is Weapons is coming out on August 8th. I don't even know when The Conjuring's coming out. I'm pretty lukewarm on The Conjuring franchise. So yeah, Black Phone 2 is coming down the pike. That might be a couple months away. I don't know if the Predator movie is going to lean towards horror. To me, it just kind of looks like sci-fi action. I don't get why people would sit through the trailers and then decide to go to the toilet just before the movie is about to start. Yeah, I purposely show up late, and I like right in the middle of the trailers, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go make myself use the restroom and then I'll be back. But to leave to go get popcorn and miss the beginning of the movie because you're eating popcorn or buying popcorn, come on, dude. Come on. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next story here. So yes, I believe, Todd, you had brought this up. Let's have a chat about George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. The original film elements have been found. 4K restoration is in the works from Scream Factory. So yeah, just a little more than a week ago, guys, on Late Night with the Davey, we were talking about how there wasn't a 4K because the negative had been lost. So we've got some really great news. I think this is the best news of the day for sure. Always, anytime I see some George Romero news, especially with Day of the Dead, it's my favorite zombie film of all time and one of my favorite movies ever. So love seeing this kind of news. Great shot there of one of Savini's robotic zombies there with that jaw. Just beautiful stuff. So the article here, this is Alex DiVincenzo from Bloody Disgusting. The article says, Scream Factory is celebrating the 40th anniversary of George A. Romero's Day of the Dead with the news that the long-lost original film elements have been found. The company is currently working on a new restoration for a 4K Ultra HD edition. Expect details on the new edition soon. And Jeff Rowland, the producer and manager of video production at Shout, says, quote, I was ecstatic after finally locating it and can't wait to begin the restoration process so this all-time classic can finally be presented in all of its gory glory. And the article continues by saying the 1985 zombie classic is returning to select theaters and drive-ins now through Halloween to commemorate its 40th anniversary. Guys, let me know if you're watching live in the chat. Are you going to check out one of these screenings this year for the 40th anniversary? And if you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments. I am going to do everything I can to check this out. I've never been to a drive-in, so I'm going to check the local drive-in here in Glendale, Arizona. Maybe they're bringing Day of the Dead. I think that would be a really cool experience to, you know, I've seen the movie in the theater before, so to watch it in a drive-in for the 40th anniversary would be pretty awesome. And then, of course, we have a little synopsis here. In the film, a small group of scientists and soldiers have taken refuge in an underground missile silo where they struggle to control the flesh-eating horror that walks the earth above. But will the final battle for the future of the human race be fought among the living? Or have they forever unleashed the hunger of the dead? And yeah, we have a couple shots of, I'm guessing these are the original film elements. So they look a little distorted. I don't know if that's just the way these look when it looks like they're taking pictures like through a microscope kind of thing. So very encouraging to see this, guys. I am super pumped for, you know, a true restoration of this classic zombie film. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. If you're watching after the fact, if you're watching live, let me know in the chat. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, because we cover news on this channel all the time, guys. So hit me up in the comments. Give me your thoughts on Day of the Dead by George A. Romero, or any of his other movies. Maybe you're not a Day of the Dead fan, but let me know down below. All right, let me jump in here with y'all. Here, how about I bring up this picture right here? There we go. That's fun to look at while we chat about Day of the Dead. You guys are talking about moving seats. Yeah, no, I hear you. My theater expects everyone to turn off their phones during the movie, and they do. Come live by me, guys. I mean, whenever I get to go to a press screening, which isn't very often, I don't get invited to press screenings personally. I'm usually going with Cecil from the Horror Show channel, and we kind of like rotate through, you know, who's going to go to those screenings and everything. It's usually really good at the screenings. Now, some of them, they do let, you know, they allow people from like the public to kind of bid for some of those empty seats if they're not able to pack the theater. So like at Megan 2.0, there were people that were like seriously crinkling their snacks like the whole time, like crinkling, not just eating their snacks. It just felt like they were fidgeting with their shit. But you don't see people like busting out their phones or talking or anything like that. Although, you know, I will say Final Destination Bloodlines, that theater was packed, and I would say probably half of those people weren't from the press. And there was a lot of like, there were a few moments where somebody like chimed out something at the screen. So yeah, it's not perfect, but I would say more often than not, press screenings are pretty great experiences. 100% Paul will be at a screening of Day of the Dead if they have one over in the UK. Hell yeah, Paul. Let's see here. Ty says, I heard the drive-in in Glendale is too dark to see anything at night. Oh, yeah, I have no idea. I've never had that experience. So, you know, I guess it would be a good idea then to watch a movie I've already seen if I'm going to go to the drive-in. That way, if I can't see anything, I'm not as disappointed as trying to see a first time. Gina says, love Day of the Dead, but both Dawns are my favorite. Can't choose. And Land is brilliant also. Yeah, I love them all. Yep, I love them all. AMC is that way. Why I decided to drive 30 minutes to Regal, and it's been worth it. What did I miss there about AMC? Let's see here. Oh, is it just about seating and everything? I really like the AMC experience here. I don't know if we have Regal cinemas in the Phoenix area. We've got Harkins and AMC. So if there are Regal cinemas, I've never like seen one when I've just been driving around or when I've been looking up movies online. So maybe we've got like one or two, but who knows? I mean, wherever you go in Phoenix, you're going to drive 30 minutes, like no matter what. Let's see here. 10 hours from North Carolina. Yeah. Still thinking I Know What You Did Last Summer will make more money than Bloodlines. I don't think so. No. I think that, you know, if that's something that I said, I talk so much here that I don't even know if I ever said that. You know, I'm sure that I had mentioned that if I Know What You Did Last Summer is going to make more money than Bloodlines, then it's got to deliver at least as well as Scream 5 did as far as being a legacy sequel. It had to at least be as good as the movies that came before it, or pretty close. I think this one's really bad, Prince. I think the new I Know What You Did Last Summer is far worse than the first two films in the franchise. The third film doesn't count in this timeline as far as I know. And yeah, whereas this I Know What You Did Last Summer is the worst one that I've seen out of the three films in the franchise that I've watched. I would say Bloodlines is in the top 3 of the Final Destination franchise for sure. Maybe the best, you know, other than the original. Although I do really like Final Destination 2 quite a bit. It's just my AMC 5 minutes from my house. They don't care about being rude. Oh, yeah. They're pretty good at the AMCs that I go to. I go to 2 of them. The one that's closer to me has way more of like the plush recliner seats and all that stuff. When I worked at the cinema, there was no such thing as mobiles. You had a torch shown in your face and told shush when I worked in one. I love that. Yeah. Get the flashlight in their face. Oh, there's a Regal and Gilbert. Okay. Thank you, Ty. I guess I just never see them. I've never, like when I drive on the freeway and all that stuff, I'll see an AMC on the side of the road or a Harkins on the side of the road. I've never noticed a Regal Cinemas anywhere. Are they in like malls or something? I don't know. Yeah, it'll probably make its money back. And if it makes its money back, they're just going to push forward a sequel, you know. As far as I know, 3 isn't canon. Yeah. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump on over to the next news story. Paul asks, what are you looking forward to the most? It, Welcome to Derry, or Crystal Lake? I would say Crystal Lake I'm looking forward to more, Paul. I think It, Welcome to Derry looks like it might be a better show. I mean, we've seen more of it. Like, we've actually seen a trailer, and the production value looks really good. I like the way that they're capturing that time. I don't find the It story very compelling to me. It's not very interesting. You know, it's not like I think the movies are bad, or even that the TV movie is necessarily bad. The Tommy Lee Wallace directed TV movie from, I think it was 1990. I just don't think it's a very interesting story. I don't really care. Yeah, and then like even with the new one, I didn't even watch It Chapter 2 or Part 2 or whatever, because I just thought the first part was like, okay. So I'm just not, I'm a bigger Friday the 13th fan than I am an It fan. And when it comes to like Stephen King kind of stuff, I find that I'm not the biggest Stephen King fan necessarily. Some of the stuff works for me really well. Like I really enjoy Christine, but that might be because of John Carpenter's direction and music. So yeah. Let's see here. Oh shit! You said Bloodlines will make more money. Yeah. What are you trying to? You putting words in my mouth here, Prince? Come on. Yeah. I would be shocked if I had said that I Know What You Did Last Summer would make more money. Because it would have to like really knock it out of the park. But yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump on over to our next story, guys. I don't want to be going on too long because I know we've got some other streams in the horror YouTube community. I want everyone to be able to enjoy all of that as well. But holy crap, guys, we have 25 people watching right now. You guys are amazing for jumping in here on a Friday night. Thank you so much. Make sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you've got a horror movie friend, or you know, somebody that just likes to, they're just fascinated with the genre, let them know about the channel. We are trying to grow this community. It took us forever, I feel like, from 1,400 subs to 1,500 subs. That was like a huge slog. And guys, we are already getting close to 1,560 is I think where we're at. So we're like, we just crossed 1,500 last week, and we are sprinting to that next 100, you know, sub mark of 1,600. So very excited about that. You guys are awesome. You're one of the big reasons why that's happening. So keep on sharing the channel when you see something here you like. And we'll just keep on having so much damn fun in the chat. You guys are awesome. Okay, guys, let's see here. Mortal Kombat 2 official trailer. Carl Urban's Johnny Cage gets pulled into the brutal Tournament. And guys, just to let you know right off the bat, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan as far as the video games go. But man, when it comes to the movies, it's really just the first one that does it for me. I really dig that first movie. I still think it's the best one we've got. I did like, what was it, Mortal Kombat Legacy? That was like, I think that was like kind of like a fan film series that was on YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know it was on YouTube. It was like a mini series. I really enjoyed that one. But the Mortal Kombat movie that came out, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, I thought was pretty disappointing, honestly. It was, you know, a movie that's got a couple moments, and yeah, maybe some of the characters looked a little more accurate to the video game, but of course, our main character is someone that was never in the video game. They create like this whole backstory for someone that we've never even seen before. And ultimately, I feel like that Mortal Kombat movie was a pretty big letdown. So I'm kind of surprised we're getting a sequel. But also at the same time, when you have somebody like Carl Urban jumping in, I think that'll help. You know, that'll help get that funding and help get that excitement. And while I feel like Carl Urban is a really charismatic actor, and, you know, I like what we've seen in the teasers and everything, because we had that Johnny Cage teaser, I think he's way too old for Johnny Cage, unfortunately. I think Johnny Cage should be like mid-30s, kind of. Mid to late 30s, not in his 50s, which I believe Carl Urban is. If he's not in his 50s already, he's got to be darn near close. And, you know, I watched this trailer the other day. I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat. I was pretty let down with this one, but let's see what John Squires from Bloody Disgusting has to say about it. I mean, that doesn't really look like Baraka to me, unfortunately. Like, what version? Is there a version of Baraka that looks like this? It doesn't look familiar to me based on what I'm used to seeing, but maybe I'm just an old man. I mean, the mouth is about the only thing that looks right, the mouth and the bald head. Well, I guess the spikes are, kind of, although I thought they were like metal in the video game. I don't know. Anyways, I'm being a jerk already, and I haven't even gotten to the article. So the article says, big screen movie sequel Mortal Kombat 2 is headed our way this Halloween season, and Warner Brothers has unleashed the official trailer this afternoon, which was yesterday. Give it a watch below. Mortal Kombat 2 marks the arrival of Carl Urban's Johnny Cage into the rebooted movie franchise, and the character takes center stage in this first official trailer. The new trailer also makes it clear that the sequel will actually depict the titular tournament this time around, and it looks much more like a video game come to life than the first movie did back in 2021. That being said, I'm still not entirely sold on the approach of this particular big screen universe, says John Squires. I'm right there with you, John. He goes on to say, a lot of what's on display here looks much the same as the aforementioned 2021 movie, but Urban's presence should help elevate the material and at least give us a character worth rooting for. Watch the trailer and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll say the same thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So yeah, rated R for strong bloody violence, gore, and language. And yeah, we've got some, news on the cast. I'm not going to run through everything here, but I guess maybe I wouldn't have given that big soliloquy if I knew that John Squires was going to essentially, that we were going to pretty much agree and kind of say the same thing, where I was pretty let down with that first attempt a few years ago, or I guess now it's 4 years ago. And I'm surprised it even got a sequel. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to show the trailer here. Whenever I show the trailer, I always get hit. And Warner Brothers is exceptionally shitty about, striking you, at least copyright claiming you if you put their stuff on your channel. But I will say with this trailer, Baraka's voice was weird. Shao Kahn's voice was weird. Maybe those are things they're going to fix before the movie comes out. Maybe it actually will sound better, but it just seems kind of low budget. And Carl Urban and all of his quips as Johnny Cage, which, man, even in this trailer, it's so much that I'm like, oh my god. People had a problem with James Gunn's Superman being like jokey and everything. This Mortal Kombat 2 looks like it's James Gunn times 10 as far as like the quippy jokey humor. And it's not to say that I don't think you can include that in Mortal Kombat. I do think you can. However, I just don't think that if the movie doesn't deliver as far as all of the other characters go and the story goes, then Carl Urban and all of his Johnny Cage quips are not going to save this one, unfortunately. I feel like such a jerk after my feelings on I Know What You Did Last Summer. Here I am with maybe some bad news about what's going on in the Crystal Lake series as far as the story goes. And here I am poo-pooing the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer. But guys, I wanted this one to look good. I just have my reservations, and I've got a very strong feeling that the original Mortal Kombat film from 95 or 96, whenever it was, is still going to be the best one of the bunch after we see this Mortal Kombat 2. But I want to know what you think, so let me know in the comments section down below. Let me know in the live chat if you're catching this live. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, because we're going to be covering all sorts of horror, movie, and TV news right here on the channel. Okay, guys, let's jump on over to the comments. Looks like you guys are blasting off on this one, so let me jump on in and see what we got. Wow, a lot of comments on this one. I like it. Going back to I Know What You Did Last Summer really quick, because I can't let it go, guys. Destiny says, I just told my mom what happens in the new movie. She said it was okay for me too, and she is not happy. Yeah, it's a slap in the face. It is. I'm so happy I don't really care about the franchise. Sequel is greenlit if it makes enough. The reviews it's had, though, aren't good. Well, they lay out so much groundwork for a sequel. It seems like they're betting on themselves that they're going to make one. And I think I Still Know What You Did Last Summer came out like 10 or 11 months after the first movie in the franchise. So it was like they already were ready to make that movie. So yeah, we'll see what happens with I Know What You Did Last Summer. I hope everyone's having a good night. I'm getting ready to watch Cuckoo for the first time because my buddy told me I have to watch it. Maybe, Sean, maybe you can make some... excuse me, holy cow. Sean, maybe you can make some sense of Cuckoo for me, because I had a really tough time at wrapping my head around that one. It kind of made me feel dumb. Mortal Kombat! Yes, Carl Urban doesn't make a good movie, though, just because you put him in there. You know what I mean? Oh, wow, I really needed that water, guys. Let's see here. Oh, my gosh. Brett, that's not what it's about. It's about us lifting each other up, bud. That's what it's about. It's not... I only compete with myself. Full disclosure, no bullshit. The only person I'm competing with is myself. I want to do better every time I'm on here with a live. I want to do better every time I put together a pre-recorded video, or hell, even just a short. And I want to do better every single time when I'm interacting with you guys. So that's what it's about. It would be amazing if YouTube could turn into a full-time kind of gig for me. And that would be so far down the road. And I'm going to do it no matter what. So even if it doesn't turn into that, I'm going to keep it going. Dean says MK trailer looked decent. I'm all for checking it out in October. Yeah, decent. I think that's fair. Yeah, it definitely didn't excite me. Carl Urban looks good as Johnny Cage. I just don't have much hope in the movie being good. Hopefully I'll be wrong. I love the game so fucking much. Yeah. Yeah, but how many movies can he play Johnny Cage? I guess he's going to have to die in this one or die at the beginning of the next one, like how they killed off Johnny Cage in Annihilation. He's way too old for the role. It's just, I don't get it. I really don't. I'm predicting Cole to die early in Mortal Kombat 2, have the film focus on the main cast. Is he even gonna be in this one? I don't know if I saw him in the trailer. Is he in the trailer? And I didn't even see, did we see Sub-Zero in the trailer? I didn't go frame by frame. I will say this though, guys, something that was very, I forgot to mention it when I was covering the news part of it all. The woman that plays Sonya has maybe like a couple lines in this trailer. Dreadful acting. Terrible performances. Like when people make fun of Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot, however you say that name, when people make fun of the way she delivers lines, holy cow, this Sonya Blade that's in this trailer, I don't know why they put that in the trailer. I'm just like, is this just to make Carl Urban look even better? Because this chick is terrible. Brett says the OG Mortal Kombat will always be my favorite. The opening title card is the best of all time. It's just such a fun movie. It really is. Sub-Zero and Scorpion were pretty cool in the last Mortal Kombat, but that's all I remember. I hardly remember any of it at all. It's just so weird. Sub-Zero is now Noob Saibot? Stupid. Street Fighter cast is looking impressive. Yeah, I like David Dastmalchian. I think that's the only one I know of so far. I was always a Mortal Kombat guy over a Street Fighter guy, just as far as the games went. But I would love to see a really cool Street Fighter movie, Cody, for sure. And I'll take all the David Desmalchian you got. Like, I love that guy as a performer. So hopefully he puts in a good performance there. Let's see here. Looking forward to Street Fighter with the cast announced so far. So who else is announced besides M. Bison? Cody as Guile. But Cody, the wrestler guy? I'm so out of the wrestling game. The last time I paid attention to wrestling, it was like 1990, I think. Steve Mayers is in the house. Says, greetings, Davey and Flick friends. How are you doing, Steve? Happy Friday, bud. Great to see ya. I think I'm looking more forward to the Street Fighter film more than the Mortal Kombat. All right, there you go. Yeah, I guess let me know if you guys are, in the chat and everything, or if you're watching the stream live. Let me know in the comments. Are you a Street Fighter guy or a Mortal Kombat? Or are you more like Capcom versus Marvel or Art of Fighting? Like, what was your fighting game that you really resonated with as a kid? And don't tell me it was Clay Fighters, okay? I guess Killer Instinct you could put in there, Primal Rage, what's the Eternal Champions, all sorts of fun stuff. Mortal Kombat 95 is the shit. I agree. I love it. I did record her reaction. I'll be posting it on my second account. Thank you. Second account on Insta? I hope so. I don't want to miss it. I do not want to miss it. I didn't like Cuckoo. I couldn't tell if I can't say that I liked it because it was just very confusing and very, like, the trailer was awesome. The Cuckoo trailer was awesome. And then the movie was like, what the hell's going on? This is so, like, dreamy and bizarre and weird. And guys, I'm just going to say it. I'm not the biggest Dan Stevens fan. I am just not really into him. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. That is so dumb that they've turned Sub-Zero into Noob Saibot. Holy cow. Sub-Zero is my guy. That's my favorite character. And now he's just a different character? Terrible. Maybe he'll get to play Dredd again in the movie that was just announced. Yeah, I was going to cover that. It's not so much horror, but maybe it will be horrific because Taika Waititi is directing it, and I don't like that guy's movies. Thor Ragnarok, I thought, was such trash. Like, I could not stand that movie. I liked the Dredd film that Karl Urban was in. I think he has such a great look as Judge Dredd. So maybe the movie will succeed despite Taika Waititi, but not the biggest fan of Waititi for sure. I am of the opinion that Karl Urban is a beefcake. Well, he certainly is that. He's also like almost 20 years older than the character of Johnny Cage. So it's a pretty big gap there, Pretty big. Yeah, but Van Damme turned them down when they reached out to him to be in the actual video game. So I think that kind of ended that, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, Cody Rhodes. Okay. Yeah, he's got the hair for Guile, right? I think that's, the only thing I know about him. Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo was Leanna's jam. The original Street Fighter 2? Or are you more of a turbo kind of gal? I've got the version. It's the Genesis version. I have it on the Wii, I believe, and it's Champion Edition because it has turbo and it has all of the characters that they added. So it's like it's like the last version of Street Fighter 2 that they put out on the 16-bit consoles. Okay, let me jump on over to the next news story really quick, though. Steve says Final Fight from Capcom was my all-time favorite. Well, Final Fight was a beat-em-up, and some of those characters, I think, are in Art of Fighting. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah, so Final Fight's more of like a beat-em-up, and then I'm talking like, what was your favorite tournament fighter? Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Loved using Mike Hager, Cody, and Guy. Well, there you go. Okay, guys, let's jump on over to the next story here. So just the other day when we were covering the news, we had a story about alien... Can I talk today? So, guys, just the other day we had a story about Aaron Taylor Johnson signing on for Robert Eggers' Werewolf, which is, I believe, the next film that he's working on. And today we've got a story, surprise, surprise, Willem Dafoe working with Robert Eggers yet again after, a few weeks ago we got news that Dafoe was likely to play or had already signed on to play Ebenezer Scrooge in Eggers' A Christmas Carol. Here we've got news that he is in talks to join Robert Eggers' werewolf movie, and this one comes to us by way of John Squires. Let's check out this frightening picture here of Willem Dafoe from The Lighthouse. It's just a shocking image. The article says here, the next movie from director Robert Eggers is going to be a full-on Nosferatu reunion with Aaron Taylor Johnson signing on for Werewolf and Lily Rose Depp in talks to star. Deadline reports today that Willem Dafoe is also in talks to star in Eggers' Werewolf for Focus Features, the duo re-teaming after The Lighthouse, The Northman, and Nosferatu. Dafoe is also reportedly being eyed to play Ebenezer Scrooge in an upcoming adaptation of the classic Charles Dickens tale A Christmas Carol for Eggers, we recently learned. Set in the 13th century and being described as a medieval horror movie, Robert Eggers' Werewolf will howl its way into theaters from Focus Features on Christmas Day 2026. So we've got some time, guys. Almost a year and a half. We've got to wait for this one. Maybe Anya Taylor-Joy can come in instead of Lily Rose Depp. Maybe, I don't know. She probably costs a lot more than Lily Rose Depp, and she's probably in way higher demand. I wasn't really sold on Depp's performance in Nosferatu, but even like I used to not feel so hot about Aaron Taylor Johnson's performances, but the last few things I've seen him in, he's been really good. So maybe Lily Rose Depp will rise to the occasion, become a better performer, and by Christmas Day 2026, if she happens to be in this film, gives us something that's much more compelling than what we got from her in Nosferatu. So the article finishes off here by saying the filmmaker co-wrote the screenplay for Werewolf alongside Sion, the Icelandic poet and novelist who previously co-wrote the Viking movie The Northman with Eggers. Chris Columbus, who produced Nosferatu, is on board to produce Werewolf. And of course, guys, stay tuned over at Bloody Disgusting for more news. We will cover that news here on the Davey Death Ray channel as well. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, and let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about, I kind of like it when a director has like a stable of actors they keep on bringing in, but let me know in the comments below. Are you pumped to see Aaron Taylor Johnson in Werewolf? Are you pumped for Willem Dafoe? And how do you feel about Lily Rose Depp? So let me know in the comments. If you're watching live, hit me up in the chat, guys. All right, I'm going to pop on over and see what you all are saying here. It doesn't look like you got much. I'm waiting on a Power Stone movie. Popular game from the Dreamcast system. Man, I never really played the Dreamcast. Except for, I think, like, in the store. Davey, are you not fond of me, lobster? No, I love The Lighthouse. But look at that image. That is a shocking image. Robert Eggers uses the same actors for his film like Rob Zombie. Yeah, it's like, well, you're going to work, you're kind of getting the band back together, and if you trust not only the performances, but you feel like they like understand you as a director, then I totally get it, right? Because making a movie, I've never made a movie, but just from the people that I know and in what I've read and heard about it, like you want to come in on budget or under budget. You don't want to waste time. You want somebody that can interpret the material the way that you see fit. So yeah, once you trust these actors, I can't blame him for wanting to go back to the well and bring these people back. I can be kind of worried about Lily Rose Depp just because, in my opinion, I don't like her performances that much, but I'm sure there are a lot of people that really do like her performances. So, what can you do? Exactly. There you go. Paul says, thanks, Davey, but time for me to go. Enjoy the rest of the live, everyone. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for jumping on in. I know it's getting a little bit late out there for you folks across the pond. Hope you have a great weekend, bud, and we'll see you next time around. Why is werewolf being spelled wrong as Yeah, I think it's a German spelling, I would imagine. Blues Brothers reference. Did I give a Blues Brothers reference, or did somebody else do Blues Brothers reference? What did we miss? What did we miss? Studio choice, Antonis. Yeah, I would just say, I would imagine they are going to put the film in Austria or Germany or whatever, and that's just like the spelling that they're going with. Yeah. Oh, it's Old English. Well, there you go. I liked Double Dragon and Bad Dudes. Yeah. I like all those beat 'em ups. The X-Men beat 'em ups, one of my favorites. The Ninja Turtle ones. Oh yeah, getting the band back together. There you go. Yes, we're on a mission from Gad. Okay, let's jump on into what we've got here coming up next. We've just got a few more guys, so bear with me, and we'll get this going. Okay, so folks, the DCU is in full swing now with Superman having come out last week, and we're getting a whole bunch of news about that universe as far as the Supergirl movie. Looks like they're already looking for their Wonder Woman. And, we've got some pretty awesome news as far as the Clayface film goes, which is written by Mike Flanagan. The article here that we've got from Alex DiVincenzo of Bloody Disgusting says Clayface is a, quote, complete horror film, says James Gunn. So there we got our guy Clayface, one of the iterations of the character. I'm just so used to the version that is in the animated series, whereas this version that we're looking at here kind of looks a little bit like Demi Moore's The Substance. Although I know that, Clayface was created long before that. If anything, The Substance is like Clayface. But the article from Alex DiVincenzo says, in case there's any doubt in the wake of Superman, James Gunn confirms that the DC Universe's take on Clayface is a horror film. Quote, although it's in the same universe, it's a complete horror film, end quote, Gunn told CBS Mornings. He goes on to say there's not a company style. It's not like every movie is going to be like Superman. The artists and directors and the writers that create each one will bring their own sense to it. That's a relief to hear, guys. That is, regardless of how you feel about James Gunn and the movies he's made or whatever. I think that, since he's the head of this DC universe, it's really refreshing to hear him say that, that it's like, hey, we're going to let people play within the world that, we're going to kind of let them build their own sandbox for what they're creating here. And we're not going to make it all have to fit some sort of or conform to some sort of unifying style. The article goes on to say, currently in pre-production, Clayface is expected to shoot later this summer for a September 11th, 2026 theatrical release via Warner Brothers. James Watkins from The Woman in Black and Speak No Evil will direct from a script by Mike Flanagan, who you all know from The Haunting of Hill House, Dr. Sleep, and more. And Hossein Amini, who also helped write the script with Flanagan. So we know him from Drive, as well as Snow White and the Huntsman. The article finishes up here by saying it's described as a Hollywood horror tale centering on a B-movie actor who injects himself with a substance to remain relevant, only to find out he can reshape his face and form, becoming a walking piece of clay. Gunn's DC Studios co-CEO Peter Safran previously called Clayface, quote, an incredible body horror film that reveals a compelling origin of a classic Batman villain. Tom Rhys-Harries from The Gentleman is set to star as the titular supervillain, originally created by comics legends Bill Finger and Bob Kane in 1940. Wow, I had no idea that Clayface was that old, or if I knew and read this previously somewhere else, I must have forgotten. I always figured Clayface was, maybe created in the 80s or 70s or something like that. But wow, this really goes back. And then just wrapping up the article, it says, before Clayface, the DC universe continues with Peacemaker Season 2 on HBO Max on August 21st, followed by Lanterns on HBO Max in early 2026 and Supergirl in theaters June 26th, 2026. So there's the guy, James Gunn right there. Let's go ahead. Let's put it on this fun, disturbing image of Clayface. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Are you pumped for a horror take on this classic Batman villain? I would imagine that most of us horror fans are, especially with Mike Flanagan having written the script, even though he's not getting the chance to direct the film. He's a very busy guy, but let me know in the comments section. Are you looking forward to Clayface? Let me know what you want to see from the film as well. And if you're hanging out in the live chat, of course, let me know. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. All right, guys, let's see what you got for Clayface. Brett says, let's make all Batman movies from here on out a horror movie, like a Batman horrorverse. That could work. At some point, they've got to mix Batman with Superman, so I'm curious to know how they're going to do that. Like, are we going to get the gray and blue Batman? I'm so fascinated with how that's all going to shake out. So down for Clayface being a horror movie. Hell yeah. Cody really liked Depp in Nosferatu. Well, there you go. Yeah, you know. It's just one of those things, for whatever reason, it didn't connect with me. But yeah, I know that a lot of people really like her performance, for sure. Chester says, I agree. She was incredible. There you go. The Clayface stuff in Batman, the animated series, is great. That Feet of Clay two-parter episode is one of my favorites. I love that story so much. And it really, I think the shame is that, you know, casual movie-going audience or whatever is going to be like, oh, this is a ripoff of The Substance, you know? But I think that there are a lot of horror fans that are also comic book fans. So hopefully, at least within the horror crowd, you know, people sort of know that Clayface came before. Especially those animated series episodes you're talking about, Cody. Very, like, when I saw The Substance, I'm like, well, this is very reminiscent of something like Clayface. Let's see what else we got going on. I don't think I've ever seen a Mike Flanagan film. I have so much of his that I have to catch up on. I've seen Hush. And gosh, is that the only one? I think there's another one I've seen, but I have to catch up on like his limited series for sure. Well, there was a shot in Superman where they did a news scroller about Gotham getting flooded. Oh, maybe a little Killer Croc action. And James Gunn did say, somebody asked him, like, is Superman going to cross paths with somebody that's, you know, maybe dressed as a bat? And James Gunn was like, how do you know he hasn't already? I mean, they don't reference it in the movie, but he's sort of just planting that seed of like, yeah, maybe they are aware of the Batman. And just when you're dealing with Lex Luthor and something that's trying to rip the planet apart, maybe Batman isn't something you're really keeping on your mind too much. Or maybe they're cool. Maybe they're copacetic, you know. Dr. Sleep and Haunting of Hill House are worth watching. Yeah. I've heard great things. Midnight Mass, I've heard, is absolutely amazing for sure. And yeah, I've heard Dr. Sleep is great. Yeah. Everyone talks about Dr. Sleep. Nick from the Lost River Drive-In's always talking about that director's cut of Dr. Sleep. Okay, guys, let's just close out with a couple, you know, quick ones here. All right, so Toho says Shin Godzilla sequel still possible in addition to Godzilla -1 follow-up. This one comes to us by way of Alex DiVincenzo by Bloody Disgusting. Guys, I haven't seen Shin Godzilla yet, but I know it's making its way out to the theaters here in the States, I think in August. And I've seen the preview. I'm really looking forward to this. I love this, like, nightmare fuel kind of looking Godzilla. I mean, look at that. That eye is even scary, like the wide eye. All of those gnarly teeth and everything. The movie looks really good. And I'll just be honest with you guys. While I enjoyed kaiju movies as a kid, like, lightly, you know, most of my kaiju experience is actually watching the Gamera films on Mystery Science Theater 3000. So I'm not standing up here saying like, oh, I've always loved Godzilla and all that stuff. I think the character is like got a really cool look, but I'll tell you what, guys, Godzilla -1, one of the best movies I've seen in a really, really long time. A movie that made me tear up in the theater, and a movie that reminded me of my favorite film of all time, which is Jaws. There are just these moments and a certain kind of feel in Godzilla. You know, Godzilla -1 is certainly more grandiose and deals with some really heavy themes that, you know, Jaws doesn't really touch on, but there's just something about the movie that felt like kind of a spiritual successor, like there's some sort of connection. And then when I saw the Shin Godzilla trailer in the theater maybe a month ago or so, I was like, oh my God, this looks like so fun and so nightmarish. So I just wanted to cover it on the channel. And I know there are a lot of people in the community that are really big on Godzilla. So if you are a big fan, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you want to keep on seeing this kind of news covered. Maybe I'll cover it just because I'm interested, but I always want to know what you guys are into, because I want to bring the audience what they're looking for. So Alex DiVincenzo's article goes on to say, we know that Godzilla -1 writer-director Takashi Yamazaki is developing a follow-up for as soon as next year, but that's not the only Godzilla film on the table in Japan. Toho International President Koji Ueda, hopefully I'm saying that right, Koji Ueda, revealed to Bloomberg that there is still potential for a sequel to Shin Godzilla. A new 4K restoration of the 2016 film is set to stomp into North American theaters on August 14th from G Kids. Perhaps a strong box office showing could help encourage Toho to move forward with another installment in addition to the -1 follow-up. Co-directed by, whoa, the page is going crazy. Co-directed by Hideaki Anno and Shinji Higuchi, Shin Godzilla stars Hiroki Hasegawa, Yutaka Takanuchi, and Satomi Ishihara. Guys, I don't speak Japanese. I'm doing my best. Hopefully I'm okay on those. When a massive monster emerges from the deep and tears through Tokyo, the government scrambles to save its citizens. A ragtag team of volunteers cuts through a web of red tape to uncover the monster's weakness and its mysterious ties to a foreign superpower. But time is not on their side. The greatest catastrophe to ever befall the world is about to evolve right before their very eyes. And to wrap things up here, the article says Toho is planning a, quote, still untitled Southeast Asia-focused project, in addition to co-producing the second season of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which will return to Apple TV Plus next year. And then, of course, they go on to talk about the Monsterverse from Legendary, which is the American side of things. I'm not too into that stuff. So if you guys want to finish the rest of the article, I'll let you do that. Look at this beautiful shot of Shin Godzilla. The purple glow is awesome. I love the handwritten style, and I think they use that with -1 as well. I love that look on the text there, and it's gonna be, dude, I am so pumped. I had no idea that this was, I knew this was an older film. I didn't know it was as old as 2016, but I'm really looking forward to checking out Shin Godzilla in 4K in the theater, and I'm curious to know if you guys are as well. So if you're in the live chat, let me know. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Give me your thoughts on Shin Godzilla. Godzilla as a whole, whatever you got, let's talk Godzilla down there, and make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. Okay, guys, we got some Godzilla fans in the house, or what? 17 comments, so I'm guessing we do have some comments here about Shin Godzilla. Let's see here. Almost hate to say it, but I prefer Dr. Sleep. I've heard a lot of that talk. So you guys are still talking Mike Flanagan. Love it. 9th level of hell. Yeah, pretty brutal end there for Jack. Let's see what else we got. Oh, you guys are just still talking Flanagan. You guys are debating The Shining and Dr. Sleep. I love it. But okay, so I guess we don't have too many Godzilla fans in the house. Maybe there's just, you know, I think Vin from Womp Stomp, he's a big Godzilla guy. I'm pretty sure Cecil's a big Godzilla guy as well. So maybe I'm just like kind of falling in love with this character. Jean says she loves Godzilla. Todd says he's really looking forward to -1 and he loves Shin Godzilla. So yeah, I haven't even seen Shin Godzilla. So I'm going to wait until August 14th, have that first experience, 4K in the theater. Really looking forward to that one. I think I've seen that one, Oculus. Yeah, Oculus and Hush, I think, are the two Flanagan movies I've seen. Chester loves Godzilla. There we go. Okay, yeah, guys. I just want to know because, you know, especially if I'm going to cover stuff on the channel, I want to make sure you guys are interested in it, you know, that I'm not just doing it for me. Although, you know, some of what I do is just for me, admittedly. So let's go ahead and jump into our last story here, guys. This one is pretty relevant as of today because we've got some news here, y'all, that FX is bringing Alien Earth world premiere and immersive activation to the San Diego Comic-Con, and this comes to us by way of Megan Navarro of Bloody Disgusting. Check out that shot of the xenomorph and all sorts of other creatures and monsters below it. That's a pretty killer. I mean, that looks like a practical costume to me, unless this is just like a CG rendered image, but it looks really good. And Megan Navarro's article says, after a series of immersive experiences at Austin and Las Vegas, FX is pulling out all the stops for Alien Earth at San Diego Comic-Con this year. FX will host the series' world premiere in San Diego Comic-Con's Hall H on Friday, July 25th, 2025, from 1:25 p.m. to 2:50 p.m. and transform the Hilton Bayfront lawn into The Wreckage, a uniquely immersive experience which allows guests to step into the terrifying world of Alien Earth. So yeah, guys, in 1 week, this is very relevant stuff. So in 1 week, there's going to be a big ol' to-do at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if we have any community members or folks that watch the channel that live in the area or travel out for that con every year. But if you're going to be at the SDCC, let me know in the comments and let me know in the live chat. I've never been to the San Diego Comic-Con. I've been to the Wizard World Comic-Con, which tours around. I actually worked for that Comic-Con for a little bit. And then, of course, I go to the horror cons and all that stuff. But anyways, Megan Navarro's article here continues by saying the FX series is set in 2120. Let me restart that. Megan Navarro's article goes on to say the FX series is set in 2120 when, quote, 5 corporations, Prodigy, Weyland-Yutani, Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold, wield the power of nations, and proprietary advancements in technology provide the promise of a new tomorrow. As for the plot, quote, when a mysterious space vessel crash lands on Earth, a young woman and a ragtag group of tactical soldiers make a fateful discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's greatest threat in FX's highly anticipated TV series, Alien Earth, from creator Noah Hawley. So it breaks down the cast and everything, and then getting into the immersive experience here, it says, as for the immersive experience, the wreckage, guests, let's see here. As for immersive experience, the wreckage, guests to embark on an exploratory mission where they will have the chance to discover newly added interactive elements, pulse-pounding thrills, and get up close and personal with alien specimens retrieved by Prodigy Corps. Visitors beware. A containment breach has occurred and hidden dangers lurk within. So it sounds like a haunted house. And it says fans will be able to explore the mysterious debris to unearth new details from the highly anticipated upcoming sci-fi series from creator Noah Hawley. The immersive activation will also feature exclusive giveaways and photo opportunities. So yeah, guys, got some Alien Earth news. I feel like the Alien franchise is pretty mixed. I liked Romulus pretty okay. It didn't completely knock my socks off, but I think Fede Alvarez is a really good filmmaker, and he understands how to jump into a world that's not of his own creation and do a very good approximation of what that world should feel like. So I thought Alien Romulus is one of the stronger Alien films. This looks pretty good from what we're seeing, especially with how you guys know I feel about TV. I think this one looks pretty good, and I have not watched the brand new trailer yet. I've seen the very first one. I've not watched the new trailer because on Sunday I'm going to hang out with the horror show people and we're going to do a whole trailer roundup. So I'm saving some stuff for that. But let me know, guys, in the chat, if you're watching live, let me know your thoughts on the Alien Earth TV show. Let me know if you're going to check out San Diego Comic-Con. And if you're watching this after the fact, jump on into the comments. Give me all your thoughts on the Alien franchise and this brand new Alien Earth TV show. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. Okay, guys, that wraps up the news. So let's see what y'all have to say about it all. And I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. Freedom. Freedom! Let's see what you guys got here. I'm more of a fan of King Kong than a Godzilla fan. All right. I just think they need to let the Alien franchise die. Yeah. Here's what I think, Todd, is I really like Prometheus, even though it's obviously not perfect. I really liked where they were going on the more like more concept heavy, a little more brainy, less action driven. Like I wanted Ridley Scott to make more movies like that, but then they like took it all back and went back to the action stuff. And I didn't like Covenant at all. And I can't even remember, was there another one between Covenant and Romulus? I can't even remember. Can't wait for the sequel to Godzilla -1 called Godzilla Zero. It might be called Godzilla Zero. But I think -1, the way they use it in Japanese is it literally is like saying reboot or remake, as I understand it. Looking forward to Alien Earth, says Brett. Ashton says, I'm very excited for Alien Earth. There you go. I was sold at Timothy Olyphant. Yeah, I didn't even mention the cast because we've talked about the show previously. But yeah, Timothy Olyphant is awesome. I love him as a performer. So I'll take all that you got for sure. Thank you so much, Chester. Really appreciate you. Yeah, guys, we're at an hour and 20 minutes or so. I was really just wanting to jump on here to cover the news with you guys. And yeah, I know Killjoy Jake is talking some horror. And of course, I want to jump on in and check out Vin's stream because he's going to talk about the Crystal Lake news. He may have some insights that I don't have. So I encourage you guys to check out Womp Stomp Films if you haven't already. I don't know if one of the mods can drop that link, I certainly can. I can get it really quick, actually. So here we go. I've got it already. There we are. Doesn't look like we are meeting our super chat goal, guys, so that's quite all right. I'll be able to focus on see, it ends in 3 minutes and we've just got one of the 5, but I'll be able to focus on editing and all that kind of stuff, so no worries at all. I like doing watch parties, but I totally get it if it's not everyone's thing. But yeah, there's the link there for Womp Stomp Films. If you guys aren't already subscribed to Vin's channel, I highly recommend checking it out. You can see all sorts of, you check out all the Never Hike Alone movies there for free. And Vin's Friday live stream, the Ghost Files, they're really, really great. So jump on in there and check them out for sure. Let me see what else we got going on in the chat. You have a great night as well, Jamie and Chester. Gina liked Prometheus, couldn't stand Covenant. Yep, I'm right there. Take care, Ashton. We'll see you next time around. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Really appreciate the Patreon members, the YouTube channel members, every single one of you subscribers, the new folks that are jumping in. If this is your first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me a chance. That's all I'm saying. If you don't like it down the line, no big deal. It doesn't cost you anything to sub to the channel. We're looking to grow this community. We have an awesome group of people here. And guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to give my I Know What You Did Last Summer non-spoiler review a watch. I'm really pumped with how that one turned out. I feel like I've finally gotten, even though my pre-recorded reviews are not as loose as I am live like this, I feel like I'm finding a nice, pocket there. So, I'm not saying I'm perfect and I'm not bragging or anything. It's just, for me, it feels nice because pre-recorded stuff is tougher for me than live is, honestly. So, and I need to keep up on that stuff. So really just want to make sure you guys give those videos a watch. Really appreciate all the amazing Death Squad mods that kicked it with us today. I think we had Jamie Hart, Cody Snyder, and Leanna Bevy Rage, as well as Brett from Good Real Hunting. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. I'll see you next time around. I'll be back on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern with Hit the Bricks. That'll be simulcast on Drum Dums, the Lost River Drive-In, and right here on the Davey Death Ray channel. So keep an eye out for that. But you know how it goes, guys. Until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Death Ray. Take care.